Welcome to the Spirits, Angels, and Guides Oh My podcast.
Where the supernatural gets real, baby.
Hey, Spirit Gang, I am your host, Nancy Brady.
And I'm Tara Diana, and we have a podcast for you. Mostly Nan, I'll just be cheering her on from over here, are going to be talking about shadow work. And I have so many thoughts on shadow work. But we're going to let Nan talk to you first, and then maybe I'll chime in, or maybe I'll just swallow the lump in my throat.
Okay. So we're stepping into the underworld. No, I'm kidding. It's not that dark. It's not that crazy. That's not what
Okay, but I'm fully intrigued with that. So, next podcast. Okay, go ahead.
So shadow work isn't always pretty. It is necessary though. And so we're going to unpack this, the messy parts. We're going to explore spirit animals. We're going to explore shadow guides, and we're going to give you some hands-on even exercise at the end of the podcast. It's finally not a meditation, which we always tend to sort of deep dive into that. So I'm interested what your opinions are on shadow work.
When we talk about shadow work, we talk, it can range. I mean, there's so many different varieties, right? So are you talking soul retrieval? That's shadow work. That's bringing back pieces of yourself. Are you talking about cord cutting? Oh my God, I'll never forget the person who you are severing cords. That's horrific. That is cutting cords with things, including people, baby, that no longer serve you. Are you talking, the inner child work where you go back? I get really, really past lives. That's shadow work too.
Mm-hmm.
I get really conflicted, Nan, with shadow work, because for me, as an empowerment medium, I totally understand the necessity of taking a look at things that are happening in your life that are not allowing you to move forward or not letting you be progressive.
Mhm.
I'm here for it. I understand that, but I'm also got this really big thing right here in my heart that's because apparently my heart's my whole chest, but that makes me go, do I want to? I'm going to get flack for this. Do I want to re-traumatize someone? Do I want to be traumatized? What is my, and that's why I don't facilitate a ton of shadow work. I love the soul retrieval. I will help you bring pieces of your soul back. I will, I will even do a cord cutting with you. But that deep, deep shadow work, I will send people elsewhere.
Mm. Yeah.
That's just my thought.
Okay, that's good.
Laugh.
Well, I did, and I wanted your opinion. So we're gonna talk about it from the perspective, and for those of you watching YouTube, I am consulting my notes, looking down below, so bear with me while I do that, because I can't remember all this stuff. I'm in menopause, people. This is what happens. So what is shadow work? Shadow work is really described by Carl Jung as the shadow part of ourselves we hide, we repress or deny, whether it be our fears, our insecurities, difficult emotions. And usually these form in childhood, and they are shaped by what's considered good or acceptable by society, really. And here's the kicker, that includes our creativity, our sensuality, even our leadership, and those different parts that may have been shamed. So, in different spiritual spaces, shadow work has often been over romanticized or completely bypassed. It's like when we slap love and light all over everything spiritually, Tara, it's like, it doesn't heal. It doesn't heal everything. You know what I mean?
No, it doesn't. And it's one of those things, how I have my list of spiritual fad words and fad phrases?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit late's on there. We have to change it to Harbinder's what's he say? Purest forms of love sent to you. I don't know, but I'm going to put that in Instagram too. Oh my God, I have so much to remember. Okay, carry on, Nana. I'm going to be quiet.
So basically when we deny those, we push them down, but when we integrate them, it's a way of becoming more whole, really. And that's kind of what led me to do some of the work that I do, which is I do shadow work with a twist, Tara. I do it with working with your spirit animals. So,
Can I ask a question?
yes, please.
I would like to ask you a question. Hand up. Okay. So when you say with your spirit animal, like my spirit animal, my main spirit animal, like my baby is a badger,
Mhm.
not a honey badger, a bat. Is that who you mean? Like doing shadow work with my badger? Or does another animal come up, baby?
Yeah, a lot of different animals come up. So you can do it with your main power animal, or I'll give you a good example. Um, you're afraid of spiders, right?
The hell you say? Of course I am. Absolutely. Arachnophobia all over the place. 8 legs runs fast, not my cup of tea.
Okay, so when we're doing shadow work, what I would ask you to do is consider the traits of spider that cause that fear in you.
I just listed them.
So it moves erratic, right? So is there something that's erratic that causes fear in you and triggers something from before? So maybe when you
Like,
were a child, you had an erratic schedule. Your mother never fed you on time or different things like this. So I don't know. I'm just throwing this out there. So
my mom is sending you daggers from heaven right now.
little snack on the side. Up there. My secrets.
Stupid medium.
Or, so different things like that, like, oh, they hide in dark corners, and so, different things. Okay, so what is it? There's dark corners what is it about the dark that scares you? So then the more that it's hard to give really simplistic because it's kind of like when you have a sweater and you grab a thread and you pull it, you
Sure.
unravel all of that, right? So, like
That was a great example, though. Like, for real, I'm slightly frightened, but that's a great example, though. That
yeah,
makes
and
sense.
so snake, sorry, I'll go back to spider for a second. So spider, I used to be terrified of spiders. And when I started doing work with my spirit animals and my shadow animals, and I realized and I leaned into more of the positive traits of spider and spirit animal spider, grandmother spider, and what she brings, it's about the web I'm weaving. It's about the gift I'm giving to people. It's about all the positive traits about the fact that one vibration on that web can change an entire community and generation. So all of her positive traits I started focusing on, and I started focusing on what was I afraid of? Well, maybe I was afraid of what I was creating. Maybe it wasn't really the outcome of who I wanted to be and where I was going. And the more that I worked through this fear I had with her, the more I was able to embrace her. Now, I still won't pick a spider up with my hand, and my husband bought me one of those little spider picker-uppers so I can put them outside. But I won't flip out now when I see a spider, and I've actually been at the point, like, if they'll come down in front of me, I'll grab the web and I'll just go like this, and I'll put them slowly on the ground.
Immediately, no. Absolutely not. Immediately, no. Immediately, no. Ever want to hear a funny story one day, Nan? You asked me about that spider dropping down in front of my face in here with a client.
I I have heard that story. It was very entertaining and much biting being removed.
I ended up naked in my video, right? Anyway, but I get what you're saying, and that has such interesting incantation. Like, that's just so cool, though. And I hear what you're saying with spider. I don't think I could get behind a spider. I can appreciate a spider
Mhm.
in terms of a picture of a spider or a card that comes up of a spider. I can do that. I think psychologically, I'm just too far gone that I could ever,
I
But
don't
I
think
get what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't think you are, and I think for our listeners, if you stay tuned long enough, you're gonna get the exercise, on how to sort of work through some of these triggers.
I
I
feel like
wanted
he's saying if Tara shuts up, I'll get to it. So I'm gonna put
No,
myself.
no, you're not saying that. Um, so across cultures, as you guys know, a lot of us tap into when we're working with spirit animals, we're tapping into the power of the animal, we're tapping into their medicine, we're tapping into their positive attributes. But when we start doing shadow work with animals, we're tapping into the part that scares us, right? What is it about like yours is badger? Well, what scares me about a badger? They're fierce, they're ferocious, and they can bite you. They can run faster than a horse if they need to. Okay, so what is it that I need to work on? What am I running from? What do I feel I can't get away from fast enough? So do you see how you can kind of spin this to go, oh, okay, I get this. I totally get this.
Absolutely, absolutely I do, and that's what I was saying about the spiders, like, I get it, like, dark little corners.
Yeah.
For me, how fast they move, how many legs they have, like, there's so many things that I could look into with that,
Yeah.
and maybe we should unpack that one day in Patreon.
Yeah, absolutely. Do a little workshop around that. Because the class I'm writing is just about finished, so I'll be launching that soon. So maybe we'll do that with our Patreon listeners first, and they can tap into that for fun.
That's cool.
So across cultures, because as you know, I don't subscribe to any particular culture. I subscribe to the animal and their energy when I'm doing the work. But across many cultures, it's all about reflecting on our inner world. So there's shamans in every culture across the way, and most of them see animals as our teachers and a reflection of our inner world. So, you'll see snake. Yes, that's transformation, that's wisdom, but it's also deception. Think of the Garden of Eden and the snake coming down and giving the apple to Eve, these sort of connotations. Owl is about intuition and mystery, but in a lot of cultures, it represents death and fear.
Yes, it does.
So, as we start to unpack that, we can really, really get to some profound, deep healing without um, having to go to a psychiatrist or a psychologist in the sense of, what I found when I first heard the term shadow work, I was like, oh, right. But then when I started working with my guides and Raven Song was coming forward and saying, you need to spin this with animals because this is something that could offer a deeper level of healing, I was like, cool.
Yeah, you know what? As soon as you say shadow, shadow itself on its own has all sorts of energy attached to that, right? So then when you go shadow work, sometimes work has a whole lot of stuff attached to that. So
Yeah.
putting those two things together can be the thought can be daunting. And again, as I said earlier, the idea of what does that even mean? Right? Like what's the definition of what the shadow work is? I mean, and like you said, it's going to be different for everyone.
Yeah, and you might not always get the shadow animal that you want to work with. So, uh, but it might be something or someone that you're uncomfortable with. So let's say again, we're returning to spiders because they're just such an easy beast to pick on. Um, but what if it's about representing, control or patience or qualities that you're avoiding? So maybe it's even some of those good qualities that you're like, yeah, I don't have the patience to sit still on a web and wait for my prey all day. Okay, well, let's work through that. Let's unpack that, right?
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah, so there's some really cool things. So, I'm going to give everyone who's listening a little exercise now, if that's okay. And it's called the trigger tracker. So, we could even call it the Tara trigger tracker because that's the thing on our is the Tara triggers. So, just so you know, if you know, you know. I hate that. And I hate when people say that. No, I don't. Tell me, why are you leaving this cryptic post on Facebook? I don't know. Tell me.
I feel like it's totally a, like, buy-in. You know. Do I know? Do I know? Do I know? I don't think I know. What's next?
Now, then my fear of missing out kicks in and going, well, I feel like I've been left out. What is happening?
Oh my god, then we have to do shadow work on it because, oh my god.
Quick, spider, come. Okay, but in all seriousness, so for listeners this week, I really want you to take this challenge and sit with it for a little bit. Um, the first part is going to be I need you to grab a notebook, and I want you to think of 3 people who trigger you. And yes, I mean them. Think of those people.
I
I
am
want
so
you.
in for this. I am fully here for this.
This is awesome. And then we're going to put Tara's results from this exercise in our Patreon. So if you want to see that, you can hear.
Okay, I'm where it's I'm for
We've got the notebook, we got the 3 people that trigger us, and write down the traits about them that bother you the most. You know, just whatever it is, let that flow.
Are we doing this right now?
No, you can do it later. You don't have to do it now.
Oh, I'm just checking. I'm getting my paper and pen ready. Okay.
Because we don't want to overshare on the podcast. Some people might be like, I didn't know I was one of Tara's least favorite people. What? So,
Can you imagine? I guess dinner's canceled next week.
Okay, sorry. We digress. Okay, so grab a notebook. We're grabbing 3 people that trigger you. Yes, them. And we're writing down the traits that bother you the most. And then what I want you to do is ask yourself, do I ever act like this in small ways?
I don't like this exercise anymore.
And I want you to choose the one trait that feels the most charged. So I want you to ask yourself, if this trait were an animal, what would it be? So you see, we're reverse engineering this sort of shadow work right here. And then I want you to draw the animal, if you can, stick animals, fine, and list 3 gifts that it offers. And then this is where it all gets a little juicy. So maybe the trait is manipulative and you see a spider. We're back to spider. Or you see self-righteous and you see a lion. You've just met your shadow animal. Okay. So that's the quickest way to get to your shadow animal and what that animal is teaching you and what it wants from you.
You have this all written out, right? I'm not supposed to be taking notes.
You're not. We will put the exercise in our Instagram underneath our podcast right up. Or no, our Instagram is probably easier, and our Patreon. So come on over to the Patreon and we'll put it there. And we'll put
I
it in.
can come on over to the dark side, but you might be scared. We do have cookies, though.
We do have cookies, and they're tasty chocolate chip ones.
That's right.
Yeah. So we'll put that for even our free members in the Patreon. So if you're not free, if you're not in there, there's a free level. Sign up. You'll get this exercise. Okay. So
Oh, good. Thanks of you.
I thought so. Yeah.
Look at you. You're not on my list.
You got to come up with something free now. Got to come up with something.
Oh, free. I won't have no problem. I won't have no problem coming up with 3 people.
No, free.
Oh, I gotta come up with something free.
Yeah. So come up with something cool for our free Patreon members. So, well, that's my challenge to Tara. So I wanted to do some fun cultural snapshots just about shadow work around the world. I thought that might lighten it a little bit. Is that cool?
Okay, let's do it. I'm here.
So, Mayan shamans believed that confronting your nagul, and I don't know if I'm saying that right, Nagual, nagul, is an animal who's an animal spirit linked to your personal darkness. So we're just going to say nagul, is a necessary rite of adulthood. So before you could transition to adulthood, you actually had to go through a bunch of exercises to confront your dark spirit animal.
Well, wouldn't that be awesome if everyone did that, though? If that was something that then you get it out of the way before you even got to be an adult.
Right? And you've unpacked your junk, you left it in the in the dust, and you're like,
My God. And you're good.
I think it's cool.
I think that's actually kind of smart. I mean, I don't know how well it works, but anyway, it's a good concept.
We're gonna go with it. I mean, our kids are too old to get to that point, but we could reintroduce it. I always say to my son, if I messed you up in any way, you're employed now as an adult and there's therapy available at your work.
If I screwed you up, what would help? And not for me.
Oh, you can always get help from me, but I feel there's more qualified people out there.
That'll only make it worse, baby. I'm in denial.
Oh, all right. So
We're on.
we've got the Japanese No Theater, NOH. Actors would don demon masks to scare people, but to externalize their inner darkness for the audience and themselves to witness. That sounds a bit intimidating to go watch, not gonna lie.
Well, yeah, like who's up for a night of going and being terrorized by other people's shadow work? Like, I don't know. I'm in. How much are tickets? I don't know.
Hopefully. And the Zulu traditions involved the, oh gosh, Ukola, Ukuhlola. Please, for the love of goodness gracious goddess, just put in there how I should pronounce that. And I apologize to anyone from the Zulu tradition for butchering that. But it's a process of facing ancestral shadows through trance, dance, and storytelling.
Oh, that I love.
right? Because that's up our alley. And you do so much trance and channeling that I thought you might get some out of that.
I actually love that so much. And if we have any Zulu people that follow us and watch our podcast, we'd love to get in touch with you.
Yeah, come on the podcast.
For all those Zulu people following us.
That would be fun. So shadow work's not new. It's ancient. We've given it hashtags and therapy terms and all of these things, but you can see how simplistic it can be, and how really kind of changing. I mean, the fact that I can actually walk out and clear a spider web off my deck now is pretty amazing. I put
I
mo-
can too. It just carries with a lot of screaming and yelling and a broom and heart palpitations and your husband comes running and I can do it too. Just
yeah,
not to look the same.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, so I had sort of an example here that I incorporated. Tara and I do some of our research with ChatGPT. It's our great new friend, and so we always ask it to get examples of things and help us deep dive on the research. So this particular one they brought in, and it was a case in Quebec, which I thought was cool. So it was a Canadian case,
Okay.
and then so it's a real world sort of example of shadow work. So and I'm looking at my script, people, so forgive me. In July 2011, Chantal Lavigne tragically died from hypothermia and multiple organ failure during an esoteric sweat ritual in Sherbrooke, Quebec.
Oh.
So the ritual was led by Gabrielle Franchette, a New Age workshop leader who claimed to channel the spirit. Okay, this I can't help but laugh at this, of Melchizedek. And participants were wrapped in plastic and blankets for several hours and put in a heated environment, which ultimately led to poor Chantal's tragic death after hospitalization, and the hospitalization of many others that were attending this. So in 2014, Franchette and two associates were convicted of criminal negligence causing death and bodily harm, and the case underscored the potential risks of unregulated spiritual practices and the importance of safety and informed consent in such settings. And I thought that was really kind of a poignant thing to talk about, even though it's not quite as related to the spirit animal work or the shadow work, but what it is related to is for the seekers out there, right? We're always looking for someone, I don't know if it be Tara or myself or someone who's got the answer, who can take us on that healing journey. And this is really about doing that research. This is really about finding people who are in their authentic truth, who are in their authentic power. Find them from a referral. You'll hear us talk about this all the time. And I just thought that was a really poignant sort of example to bring in.
Absolutely. And as I'm sitting here, I feel like I have spiders crawling all over me. And Melchizedek, that surprised me.
Right?
Because
Yeah.
actually, through my healing modality, I am a high priestess in the order of Melchizedek.
And you always hear people joke about it, like, on, I don't know, I'm gonna say Saturday Night Live, but that's not them. But you hear, like, comedians joke about the term Melchizedek, and it just because it's cheesy, it makes I I don't know.
You are challenging the archangels. Or so not only is my mom throwing lightning bolts at you, now you have Melchizedek throwing lightning bolts at you. This is super powerful though. And like I said at the beginning of this, Nan, when we talk about things like shadow work and inner child work and I mean there's so many past lives, there's so many different ways to do it. You just brought up one of the most valuable points in this whole thing. It's that, there are people out there that are complete and utter frauds that have done none of the work and will claim things. I'm mentoring someone right now to be a soul retrieval practitioner and she's powerful, she's purposeful, her heart is in this with every ounce of her. And I can't remember the last time someone came to me and said, "Help me do this work."
Mm.
Right? So, she's going to be phenomenal. Why? Because she's truly connected to it. So, you'll go by those referrals, right? That's why the Spirit Essence Collective is all authentic practitioners, some with more experience than others, but none of them will ever cause harm.
Right. And there's a beautiful collection of all sorts of, I'll call it specialties, or what's the word? Niches is the word I'm looking for. Where we all have something different that we focus on. You're an empowerment person. I'm an animal soul guide. That's my whole focus. We've got energy practitioners. We've got everything. You've built a beautiful community.
We have a numerologist coming.
That's very exciting. I
It
love
is
that.
exciting. And, Paula Gill's there and she does astrology. There's so many cool things. And again, when we talk about shadow work, you guys, I just want to say to you, it's not about necessarily reliving the trauma. I don't know
No.
how that helps anyone.
No.
And I can speak to that from a very, very sincere place.
Mhm.
But it definitely is an acknowledgement and a validation that's needed.
Yeah.
And, shadow work doesn't have to be consuming. It shouldn't be consuming. It should be enlightening.
Yes. Yeah, I'm glad you said that, Tara. That's such a valid point, and it's really important. And as you can see from the exercise, this is just unpacking more about yourself, really. It's not about reliving the trauma. It's not about opening that up. So, you guys will probably hear my dog right now on the audio clicking around with her tippity tap toes. And, but it's not about that. It's about being the best you and moving into the most healed place of you, right?
I love that. Because we're always striving to ascend,
Yeah.
right? Whatever that means to you. It means something different to everyone, but ascension is the goal. Just to your higher self, even, not to be God or anything like that. Just to ascend.
Exactly. So shadow work isn't your enemy. Shadow work is about your depth, basically embracing it, making yourself more whole. You're not broken. You're perfectly you, and that's one thing you're always going to hear from Tara and I. So I invite you to do the Tara Trigger Tracker. Try saying that 3 times fast.
Right? That is Tara trigger tracker, Tara trigger tracker, Tara trigger tracker. It doesn't even sounds like nothing.
And then let us know, engage with us, whether it be DM on our Instagram. What comes up for you? What is the work? Even though it's challenging, what is it bringing up? It's because you're going to find it's incredibly freeing, and that's what I'm sort of inviting you to do. So, on that note, for our Patreon followers, we get to you can take it over from here. Drumroll, hand off to Tara with the mic.
We get to do lots of fun things together as a family.
We're going to pull cards and deliver a message to one of our Patreon beautiful members. And the name is
Christine W.
Yay!
W, we got you, baby. So I'm not going to pull a card again, which is weird because I do love pulling me some cards, but I'm going to go into the message. Are you okay with that?
Please do.
Okay, Christine, I want to say to you, please, that there is a lovely, lovely glow about you at this time. And I feel like it is all the energy coming to you and gathering itself around you, sweetheart, and allowing you to feel safe, to feel sacred, and to feel stable in the work that you're doing, please. I'm also feeling that right within your heart center, please, there is a beautiful rose quartz right there, and Spirit is allowing that to expand and expand further still. So there is an acknowledgement from Spirit of the self work that you've done, but also of the expansion of how you're going to help others, Christine. So this isn't about an engagement of, when we talk about how we level ourselves up, how energy begets energy, et cetera, et cetera. Well, you sitting in your power like this is allowing you to also now emit that beautiful energy outward. So other people that just walk past you, that maybe sit with you, that have a conversation or just literally, I don't know, walk by you, will be able to feel the energy that you are now honing in. And once you start seeing how that affects yourself and the others around you, it's going to become unconditionally, unconsciously part of your nature. And this is a beautiful flow of energy that you will no longer have to think about. It just will naturally be. And I'll leave that with you, Christine.
Oh, I love that message. I feel like this card complements your message so beautifully.
I love that.
It's eagle. What's that?
I say I love that. I love it when it works like that.
Yeah, me too. So you got Eagle, which is all about mastery. And this particular card is coming up about the spiritual mastery. It's about the journey that you're on and leaning into that and riding on the wings of eagle as you soar into being authentically you and what your niche is. This is all about embracing that. For me, eagle energy is wisdom, and birds very much flow seamlessly for me between the veils, between the other side. And so they help us so much with that connection. So I would encourage you to hop on the back of Eagle, work with Eagle, work with the strengths, the power, the intelligence, wisdom, call past wisdom from past lives, call key learnings from past lives forward and have Eagle usher it in for you. And then work with that as you continue to hone, perfect your niche because you have such an incredible wisdom and gift that the world needs. So I'm glad that she's part of our community. So I'm going to leave that with you, Christine.
Absolutely love that. Okay, friends, remember, go to our Instagram, follow us. Make sure you put in your birth month so you can get your name in for a draw for July's. Yeah, it'll be July's Spirit Scope. Follow us on our Patreon, Spirit Angels and Guides. Oh my. Any level will work. Even the free level, you'll get something sometime. And make sure that you are following us on all our social media platforms, including our YouTube, where you can go and click Nancy Christine Brady and Spirit Essence by Tara Diana. Oh, and finally, go to the website, spiritessencebytaradiana.com, click the collective, and go look at the beautiful souls that we have working with us.
Yes, I love that. So until next time, thanks everyone. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Thanks for joining us on this journey into the wonderfully weird and metaphysical.
If you loved what you heard, don't forget to follow us for more insights and behind the scenes fun.